Hey there, it's Roslyn here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm using some Sunny Studio products. This one is Santa Claus Lane and also the Gleeful reindeer stamps. And I'm bringing in this Catherine label pop-up from Burniston, these stitch scalloped borders from Sunny Studios. And today I am making a Santa Claus pop-up card. I started with some white cardstock. One sheet was cut to 5 by 7 and the other sheet was cut to 5.5 by 7. Because I am going to be doing some die cutting on the front panel, I had to make this in 2 separate pieces, and I'll show you how I put that together. Now, this card is for a very special person. His name is Danny, and he is from Illinois. And he made the newspaper because he is 34 years old. He has Down syndrome, and he misses Santa. He couldn't see Santa this year, and he thinks Santa is his best friend. So I wanted to send this card to cheer him up. And the last I found out, on December 1st, he had over 2,500 cards. And by the time Christmas comes, I can't imagine how many cards he will have received. So I hope he enjoys this when he receives it. So I'm just making sure that my card base is all lining up. You can see that I scored it at a 1/2 inch off one side. That will be the back panel, and I will attach that other panel together and it will make a full-size 5 by 7 card. So I'm going to take a tip from Burniston. If you've ever watched her videos, she has fantastic videos on how to use all of her pop-up dies. And this card was inspired by a coffee card that she did, and she had a window cut out in the front panel with the pop-up inside. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. I place my die for my Santa Claus on the front panel, and I have a secondary panel also cut from 5 by 7 and just gluing it with my tape runner on one side and keeping it open. I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine, and this cuts out the outline for the Santa Claus. I've already went ahead and colored up my images because this is more of a complicated card that I did here, so I skipped showing you the Copic coloring. Once I have my window cut out, I get a piece of acetate, and I'm able to take my tape runner here and glue the acetate right in between the 2 panels to create a window. So cutting these together ensures that the window is perfectly aligned, and Karen was the one that showed me that on her video. So for the second step here, I'm going to take that back panel, I'm adding some strong score tape, and I am going to attach the back of the card to the front of the card. And I'm able to cover up this fold with some paper as I'm building my scene. So for the pop-up, this is called the Catherine label pop-up, and I'm folding it just as Karen does, all mountain folds, so that it creates a small box, and that box is where the Santa is going to be attached to. So all mountain folds, as Karen says on her video, and I'm going to add some strong score tape here as well to get my pop-up box assembled. So I'm going to add it on the first little tapered part on the one end and the triangular part on the other end. The triangular part is the part that is going to be attaching to the inside of our card. And then I'm going to add some more strong score tape to the second fold there for the box. I'm going to remove the tapered edge here, the score tape, if I can get it undone, and that's going to form my pop-up box. So after we have that all folded, I'm going to get this positioned inside my card. And that triangular piece at the top that has adhesive on it already is going to be aligned right directly on the fold of the card. And we want to make sure that the adhesive that we've already attached to our pop-up box is showing to us. And we're going to make sure that the box is aligned in that window for where the Santa is going to pop up. So just take your time when you're doing this, and if so, make a mock card first and use those dimensions and wherever you've set it up for your main card if you haven't played with something like this before. It's always good to make a mock-up. So I have that folded, and now I'm going to take off this piece of score tape backing and close my card, and this will attach the pop-up to the other side of the card. So I was really excited to make this card. I had this idea and I just thought Danny would love it so much. Who doesn't like a pop-up Santa? So I have my colored images here, and I figured Santa has got to be holding his sack of gifts. So I'm going to attach the sack and Santa together and a couple of the presents. You want to do this before you attach Santa to the pop-up, because it's going to go on as one piece together. And if you're tucking anything behind the Santa or any of the images that you are popping up, if you attach the Santa first, you won't be able to attach these very easily afterwards. So, and there we have it. He's going to be with his little sack. Make sure that lines up right in my window. I'm going to set him right in the window and make sure he's aligned. And then I'm going to add some more very strong score tape to the other side of this box. And we're almost done the pop-up portion for this card. I'm going to make sure he's right in the window there, hold it down, and press that pop-up box there. And there he is. He's got his gifts. He's ready to go. So now I'm just taking a plain piece of black cardstock and I'm cutting out the stitch scallop borders from Sunny Studios here, and I'm going to be creating a rooftop with these. So I'm just going to attach these and offsetting the scallops as I go, so it sort of looks like a rooftop. And I was also inspired, I believe, on the Sunny Studio blog or on the examples of the Santa stamps that someone had created a roof like this, and it works out so perfectly. And I love a black roof, so that's what I went with. And I'm just going to cut this down with my trimmer and make sure the top is straight for the top of the roof. And then I'm going to cut this down to the 5 inches. This gave me a bit of a trouble coming up, but I'll show you how I solve that when I get there. So I'm going to work on the front of my card now, and I want to create a night sky. So I'm just going to line up this blue piece of cardstock. It's just a 65-pound weight from Michael's, and cut that outline of the Santa where I want him. And I'm going to create a night sky. So instead of using a ton of ink, I decided to start with a blue piece of paper and just go ahead and add some Distress Oxides to deepen up that color. So I'm using black soot, and I'm using some finger brushes from iCrafter. These are awesome little brushes to blend the Distress Oxide, because they pick up so much ink. Like, I really find that I get such a solid coverage with these. And since I'm working on just a random piece of plain colored cardstock, it doesn't really absorb much. You can see it still has a shiny finish, but that will dull back once the ink dries. So I'm going to come in with a Simon Says stamp stencil. I think this is called Falling Snow or something to the sorts. And I'm taking my texture paste, and it's a matte texture paste, and I'm just going to add that all over this background to create some snowflakes. And if you use the matte opaque, make sure it's opaque, then it'll show up bright white. If you have the transparent, it's just going to look sort of a shiny finish and the color of the background. So I'm just going to get that all smoothed out and then set that off to dry. And it's so close to Christmas when I'm uploading this, and I hope you enjoy. I hope maybe you have some time, maybe on your holidays, to watch this video. Maybe you are going to be hunkering down again like we are in Ontario. We're going into another 28-day lockdown. So hopefully you can get some crafty stuff done or watch some crafty videos. So here's where I brought in the roof. So Santa is going to be on the top of the roof on Christmas Eve, ready to deliver presents. So I'm just going to take my liquid glue and attach the night sky background. And this actually helps cover up that fold line on the left there. You won't even know that it's two pieces of paper once I get this all assembled. And I really like how that turned out. It really does look like a very nice, cheerful night sky. And then here I'm coming in with that roof. And since I did cut it down to 5 inches, this is where my problem is. It's not quite big enough. The reason why it's not quite big enough is because I had that other panel from the back folded over, so it adds just a tiny bit more width. So I just recut them all out. I re-glued them. I'm taking some removable adhesive and gluing the inside of my card together so it's nice and flat for me to work on. And then I'm going to bring in this little chimney that is from the Santa Claus Lane stamp set. I'm going to attach my roof here where I would like it. And it's okay that I'm covering up part of Santa because he is just going to be coming out of that chimney, or not coming out, he's going down the chimney, and he's going to be delivering presents, so you won't see his bottom half. So to take care of that overage, I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to trim right to the edge of the card all the extra pieces. And if you are unsure of measurements, or if you're unsure of your trimmer cutting exactly straight, this is a great way to just work around that. Glue all your panels down and cut around them after, and it will line up really nicely on your card. So for the top of the roof, I figured it needed some snow. So I just took a random piece of cardstock I had in my stash, and I'm going to just cut some squiggly lines here that represent snow, and add that to the top of the roof. We don't need any particular dyes for this, just make it look like snow. And I'm just going to carefully lift the edge of that chimney up and tuck the snow in behind. And you'll see that it adds a nice touch on the top of the roof. It sounds like we are going to have a white Christmas here. It's actually, I don't know Fahrenheit, but it's actually going up to 7 degrees Celsius today here in Ontario, where I am, and it's going to drop quite drastically and have a lot of snow for Christmas morning, so that's awesome. And now I'm just setting up my scene here with Santa's sleigh and some reindeer, and I actually colored both of these up as Rudolph, and thankfully I noticed, and I'm going to change one of them into one of the other reindeer. And I'm going to add his Santa sack with him on the roof and fill that sleigh up with a bunch of presents. You know, he has a lot of work to do on Christmas Eve. He's got to get to all the houses. But he's looking ready. He's got his pals there, and I'm just going to get those nicely glued down. And here I'm just attaching the presents right to the sleigh. So it's kind of like it forms one piece that I just have to glue down instead of tucking them in or gluing them down first and they're not in the right place. So I'm just making that a single entity here. And that'll work really nice on the front of my card. And I'm going to put a little reindeer in front of him. I really love how Sunny Studio stamps, they all have the same type of illustration. So they all really work really nice together. So you can combine all your sets that you have. So yes, like I said, Danny lives in Illinois. He's 34 years old. He lives with his parents, and his parents put out on Facebook, which eventually went into the local news there, that Danny is really missing Santa this year. His immune system is compromised. He's been sheltering in place ever since the pandemic started. So I hope he loves all the cards that he's getting, whether they're handmade or store-bought. It doesn't matter. We got to spread the cheer this year. So I'm going to work on the inside of my card, and I just have this wood grain piece of pattern paper that I'm going to use for my flooring, because this is the inside of Danny's home. And just a tip for anyone doing a pop-up card: if you're going to decorate the background, do it before you put the pop-up on, because it's kind of, I cut out a lot of footage here with me fiddling around trying to make this floor work around the pop-up. So I had to do some cutting and gluing and such. And then I'm just going to add a plaid piece of paper on the back here, and that'll be kind of like wallpaper in the house. I chose not to have it Christmassy paper because typically people don't have Christmas wallpaper, or maybe some do, who knows. And I'm just going to take my trimmer and cut that excess off. And I'll be able to start decorating the inside scene. So I've got these awesome images from the Santa Claus Lane set, and I'm taking one of these little tiny stockings, and I'm writing his name on the stocking so that I can hang that on the fireplace. And I'm just going to add some candy canes to the stockings and put that on my mantle. He's going to go right in the middle there. And then adding some more decorations and such. So I wanted to wish everyone a happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and hopefully you can have some time to regenerate and relax. And here's the little Danny on the little stocking. I thought that was a cute detail to add. But what I'm wondering is, how is Santa getting down that fireplace with the fire roaring? Maybe he has some kind of magic he uses too. Maybe he's wearing a suit that doesn't catch on fire. Who knows? So I'm just going to decorate my tree here. And we actually never got to see Santa this year. I figured, I don't even know if they're doing that this year in any malls or anything. So I'm going to get my scene set up. I'm just going to trim off a little of this holly, get that in my card. And I really like how this little scene turned out. And I just went with really simple coloring for these images. They're small, and if you're a beginner color, they're a lot of fun to color. And I used my Copics, but I've asked for some tri-blend brush markers for Christmas, so we will see if they are under the tree, because they look like a lot of fun. So I got another set, a couple sets. I think it was Christmas icons or holiday icons that I used for the wreath. And for these lights that I'm going to add, they're from the Scenic Route stamp set, and both of those are also from Sunny Studios. It just needed a tad more decoration on the inside of this card. So that's going to be it for the inside, I believe. And I was wondering what I should do for a sentiment, and I figured ho 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 would be my best bet. And these die cut letters are actually from, I think it's called the Marshmallow Alphabet from Trinity Stamps. They're a great size for the front of this 5x7 card. They really make a statement, so I just cut those out of plain colored cardstock. They're red, green, and white. And Santa is spreading the cheer. He is getting ready to deliver all the presents. And you just want to use a strong glue when you're gluing this over texture paste, because it'll give you a little trouble, but just use some strong glue, maybe put something on top of it. I'm just pressing it down and waiting. And I really love how this turned out. So I hope you liked this video. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. And please come back and watch some more videos when you got time. Hopefully I'll get some more videos posted soon. And here is the finished card. There he is, Santa Claus going down the chimney. You can see it's not very thick card. The pop-ups from Karen Burniston are fantastic. And there he is. Whoa, he's delivering presents. Wow, I can't wait. I can't wait for Santa Claus. Have a great Christmas. See you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.